Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live broadcast of the Engadget podcast. I'm reviews editor Sherlyn Lowe here at Engadget, and my regular co-host Devindra Hardwar is off on time off today. So joining me over on this side is Terrence O'Brien, our managing editor, who's also my boss. So hi, boss.
Hi. Are you going to make this
Ugh.
weird just for the live audience?
Ugh. It's I'm scared. This is like a performance evaluation. We're also joined by our guest today here to talk to us about the Google Pixel 6 and Google's new chip Tensor, and who in this setup is right below me, Lisa Edichico from Insider. Hey, Lisa.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Lisa is a former coworker of mine too, so basically bringing back all my friends onto this show. And then, of course, wait, this way.
Yep.
Over here is Ben Elman, our producer.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
We can
yes,
do a high
hello.
five. Almost there. There we go. Did it. So we see that some of our regulars are already here watching and chatting in the live chat. So thanks. Hi to Jonathan Anderson, Jedi Mind Trick on you. We've got some new names. NP Officer, Salman Javed, I hope that's correct. D-Man is also here, one of our regulars. Rain, Stormbreaker. Thank you for joining us this morning. Our one of our favorite regulars, Markdell, isn't here yet, I think. We're all just waiting. But if
you can't even start
new,
the stream without that.
I know we can never without Mark. If you're new here, just a note on what we're doing. We're basically recording the Engadget podcast, which is an audio show that goes out on things like SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, etc. So what you're gonna see is us do that recording, and while we're recording segments of audio, we can't really engage and interact directly with the audience. So be patient, but we will have segment breaks where we can take your questions live on air. You're also going to see all this behind the scenes stuff. We're going to flub a bit. We're going to say, cut, do that again, you awful talker. So we might have those moments. Those are fun, I guess. A few other people said hi, so I'm going to shout out their names. Suresh Sharma, Mohit Pavecha, I think, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, and Dave. Dave, whoever that is. I'm actually going to mute my phones because I didn't do that just now when I told everyone.
You just
Good
told
job.
everyone to do it. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about today is the new Pixel phones and Google Tensor. And so I'm going to be leaning pretty heavily on the chat for interesting questions to ask, interesting things that you guys want to know.
And I've got some questions off of Twitter and like other channels already about these chips. So Lisa and I, who have both seen the phones, are here to answer your questions. So I've banked some of them. Ben, I've put some of them in the doc, but I can go into detail a little bit more. Also, hi to Arya, Dave, who said hi. So I think we're ready to go. Dhruv Karmoka is here too. Also, hi. But I think we're ready to go on the audio side of things otherwise.
Yes, I think we are too.
Okay,
so you can start when you're ready.
Pulling up the notes. All right. And here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Engadget podcast. I'm reviews editor Sherlyn Lowe. And joining me today is my guest co-host, Terrence O'Brien, managing editor at Engadget. Hello, Terrence.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. Was I supposed to introduce myself?
Yeah, maybe we could take that again.
Maybe
we could take that again.
Okay if he... Yeah, I guess it's okay if he doesn't, but we can do that again. Okay, I'll do the intro again. Alrighty?
Yeah, and then you can just say, like, Devinder's off, whatever. It's Sterling time.
So I'll just... Do you want me to cue Terrence in, or do you want me to just do our usual pause thing where Terrence says his name after me?
Maybe just say, I'm Sherlyn, Devinder's off, and then cue up Terrence, and then
so
Terrence
I'll cue
hi.
T. Okay, cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Engadget podcast. I'm reviews editor Sherlyn Lowe, and my usual co-host Devindra Hardwar is out on well-deserved time off today. So joining me instead is our managing editor and my boss, Terrence O'Brien. Hi, T. How are you?
Oh, hi, Sherlyn. How are you?
terrified that you're going to be judging me all day. No, actually, this is not our relationship. We have a
No, I
friendly
was gonna say,
working
don't make this weird for everyone.
You know, I got to. This is like, I do this every day. Today, we're going to talk all about Google's big announcement, which is its own very first own mobile chip called Tensor, as well as the upcoming Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro that I got to see and touch in person. We'll also have a special guest lined up to talk about that, as well as some other news from Activision and other consumer tech news. If you're enjoying the show, please make sure you subscribe to the Engadget podcast on your podcatcher of choice. Leave us a review on iTunes because that'll help people find us. And we also broadcast this recording live every Thursday morning at about 10 a.m. Eastern on the Engadget YouTube channel. So if you're up for it, you want to come chat and hang with us and our cool little community, come hang out with us. That good, Ben? Clean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's jump right into it, and I will intro you, Lisa, around this segment. Cool?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So this week, Google announced, to me, it was a surprise timing, but Google announced that its very first chip will show up in the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro later this year, and the chip is called Tensor. Joining us to discuss this, I wanted to bring on someone who's also seen the phones in person, and we're very lucky to have Lisa DeChico, senior tech correspondent over at Insider. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Hey, Charlene, I'm good. How are you?
I am pleasantly surprised by what we saw at Google. And before we go too deep into it, I just want to say that Terrence, you yourself are a Pixel nerd, right? I think you like Pixels.
I do, although I was turning to you for advice as to whether or not I should be jumping ship this generation. So this conversation is going to mean a lot to me.
Okay, so you're making a decision whether you should wait for the Pixel 6 and buy the Pixel 6, right?
Or should I switch to iPhone?
Ooh.
So
that's a big question.
I'm using this conversation right now as research for my own purchasing decisions.
So the stakes are really high for you then.
Yes.
I feel used a little bit, but okay. So let's give you guys the high-level information. So Google's Tensor is its very first mobile chip. It's an ARM-based system on chip, also known as an SoC. And really, Google hasn't shared all the details, but we do know that what Google told us anyway is that it's designed around a TPU, a Tensor Processing Unit. Hence the name. Tensor processing units are these like big processors they actually have in their data centers that process a lot of machine learning models. And what Google's done is be able to like make it more power efficient and sort of miniaturize it to a point where they can put it on an SoC. And we also know that there's an ISP. Google said that it's been able to re-architect some of the memory architecture and hard code I believe, machine learning onto some of the hardware itself. Lisa, does that line up, you think, with what Google told you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing that was really clear when we saw these phones, and really, this wasn't a full unveil. It was more like a preview, I guess, is the best word for it. But the big thing is that this chip was really designed around AI and machine learning. That is definitely the big takeaway. What that means for like the average person that's going to buy a Pixel, I think, we got a little taste of that, but I think that's going to be the really big question that Google has to answer.
I mean, I agree, right? They can't give you details yet on. I asked a lot of like random chip nerd questions that I don't know that they were expecting. I was like, so what's your like thermal output and what's like the battery life, and those were things that they weren't really going to discuss. I don't even know, and for me the big question is like, this is who did you make this with, right? It's something that Google didn't say and didn't answer. And Terrence, as he was editing my article too, was like, we gotta grill them harder on this. And I was like, damn it, T, can't you just relax? I'm tired.
You know that I'm physically incapable of that.
No, you're not You're not capable of chilling. But T, like, what was your outstanding question? Like, I personally think that Google may be kind of unproven, right, as a manufacturer. And this is a question I got a lot after the article went live too, is how are you going to trust Google? I'm not one to usually be the one asking this on the show, because it's usually Devindra that's like, how can you trust Google? But Terrence, is that a concern for you?
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, Google has a long history of kind of starting things and entering new markets where it's not proven, and then kind of realizing it was harder than it was thought it was going to be and bailing very quickly. Do I think they're going to do that here? Not necessarily, but it's something that's always in the back of my mind is how long is Google in this particular game for? And yeah, they're completely unproven. Other than building these very specialized processors for their data centers, like you said. And yeah, I don't know. They have no experience building ARM chips. They have very little experience in building chips for consumer purposes at all.
Would it make you feel better if in the fall they announced that they had co-designed this with, say, Samsung?
I mean, for sure, but also I think me and you had a conversation the other day, Shalin, that in the US at least, Samsung's still a somewhat unproven quantity too when it comes to chip manufacturing, or at least not manufacturing, but design, because Samsung has built plenty of chips for companies like Apple previously, but their own in-house design silicon is very hard to come by in the US. Exynos processors are not in American phones.
Yeah, exactly. And even when they did make Exynos variants of their flagships, those weren't very well received. I think people in the other parts of the world always felt they got the short stick when it came to Exynos models of Samsung phones. Lisa, do you have similar concerns?
Yeah, I do. And it's not even just, all of the things that Terrence just said, are absolutely right. But I also think, look at Google's direction with the Pixel in general, and you can see how kind of inconsistent it's been. I mean, the first generation Pixel was all about really being this big flagship challenger to Apple and Samsung. And the second generation was kind of like that too. And then once you get to like past the 3, they're like, oh, we're going to kind of take this in a different direction and be like more budget oriented and really lean into, the Pixel 3a did better than we probably thought it would. And that's kind of, I think, what you saw reflected in the last generation. And, they also just put technology that no one needed really in the Pixel 4, which was, challenging. So I feel like they've been all over the place in terms of the direction that they want to take with their smartphones. And I mean, now it seems they're swinging back in the other direction, their original vision for the Pixel. So I kind of just want them to pick a direction and stick with it, because I feel like it's going to be hard for them to really make a dent in the market and appeal to people if like there's no consistency from like one generation to the next in that sense.
I gotta jump in here because I'm hearing like people, I don't know, jumping around or something. It sounds, or I'm hearing something that sounds like people jumping around like in the apartment above you or something. Lisa, is your mic like on a unstable platform or something like that?
No, I just have it on my like wooden like kitchen table.
Okay, and are you?
You're right though, Ben. I hear what you're saying. I don't think it's people jumping around. Something that the mic is on.
Well, yeah, and that was just the closest thing that I could think of, like as if someone was.
I could try moving it, and let me see. I mean, I moved it a little bit closer, and there are some like grooves in my table, so I kind of.
If it rocks,
moved it off of those, but
yeah, yeah, it sounds like the microphone is rocking or something.
Really? Huh. I mean, it's not on anything unstable that I can see. I tried moving it a bit closer, but yeah, it's maybe not like on a platform or anything.
Cable or something. Just
maybe. Does it sound okay? I hope not. Does it sound okay now, or are you still hearing it?
Yeah, it sounds fine now.
Okay, well, if it was me, I will be extra careful to stay still.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for breaking your concentration, but I would have been
no,
really
you're fine.
Annoyed at myself not saying anything otherwise. Okay, so let's pick it up.
I can pick it up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think you bring up a really good point, Lisa, which is that like, yes, Google's direction with the Pixel has been a little confused lately, but I feel like maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, Google's realized that its strength really is AI. And I feel like this is the result of them coming to that realization, because with the 4A, we saw that they were able to use algorithms to make it fly faster on lower level chipset and still feel like a flagship level performance. And then we've got like the camera stuff, we've got duplex, call screening, all of that AI stuff that Google's really rolled out. So it feels like, I mean, what Rick Osterloh, we were able to interview Rick Osterloh, and he said, we see this as the Google phone, and this has been in the making for like 4 or 5 years. So I don't know. To me, it feels like, yes, they're nearing that whole like vision where they're finally crystallizing, right? Their goals. I don't know, like if it's self-actualization for them, but it's something like that. Meanwhile, you're also right to point out that their market share is so low, like woefully, embarrassingly low, like
non-existent.
Like 1.2%. Yeah. And it's otherwise dominated by iPhones and Galaxy phones. Like no one else has a chance to play. So like, to Terrence's point, if this continues and if they still don't have market share, and if their other bets division still makes a loss every year, they might not continue to. I don't know. I would be very sad if they made no more Pixel phones from now on.
I can't see that. Sorry. I can't see that happening. I can't see them bailing on the Pixel 100%.
Okay. Good.
Google's always going to have a device that shows what their vision of Android is, even if that is great.
yeah, not a phone that everyone's going to buy.
Yeah, even if it's just for completely broke my concentration. I'm sorry, guys. My curtain came down behind me.
I noticed.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have a phone that's like a canvas for like their vision of Android, and they're still gonna keep some features exclusive to the Pixel line. It sounds like we're already veering into talking about the Pixel. So I don't know if there were any more thoughts you had about Tensor, or Lisa, you wanted to like add anything before we move on to just really going ham on talking about the Pixel 6.
Yeah, actually, I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me about Tensor, kind of in line with what we were just talking about like this is really how Google is trying to make its smartphones stand out from the competition, is by, kind of taking a page from Apple's playbook, in that, we're going to design all of these exclusive features that you can only get on Pixel phones. And we're starting to see that a little bit with things like call screening and whatnot. But I think that's the real reason, obviously, why Google is making its own processor, so that it can do that, so that it can, make features that you can't get elsewhere. And to me, it felt very like Apple-like in that sense, where, on iPhones, you need to have Apple's, certain co-processors to access certain features. And, we see that with the Apple Watch too. And it's a really important part of their strategy. And I think Google is definitely going deep on that same direction.
Right. I mean, like, so some of the features you're talking about where they require certain like components to run, I think this is a great way to just kind of tell people what we saw on the Pixel 6, which is some of the features that Tensor enables. So it sounds like these features, by the way, will not be available on something that doesn't have a TPU, a Tensor chip, including one where Android's live caption tool. I paused because there was live transcribe and live caption. And live caption is the one where, it can provide subtitles for everything that's playing on your phone's audio system. So that's great for anyone that's hard of hearing. And I personally love it. So anyway, with Tensor on the Pixel 6, they'll be able to not only caption, but like at the same time translate a foreign language for you. So like you're watching something in French or it's language that you don't know, you can opt for the translate option in live caption as well, which I would be interested to see if they're able to bring this to other Pixel phones. But again, sounds like something that is only achievable because Tensor has the like TPU prowess to be able to do all of that ML on device, because live caption is an on-device tool. The other stuff was photography. I think this is the focus here really of the Pixel 6 is the photography. before we get there, let's talk about that design, because like the whole reason they have this huge camera bar at the back is because they're like, we're really focusing on photography. Get it? We want it to be a talking point. That's what they said.
Isn't it always a talking point on the Pixel though? Haven't they focused
Yeah.
on photography for like 5 years?
They did say something like we've come to be known for it. I guess now they're just going whole hog and they're like, yes, we're slapping a bar on it.
I think there's just no way. Yeah, there's no way to like make the camera look nice in a subtle way. I mean, we've seen that on the latest iPhones and the latest Samsung Galaxy phones. Like they all kind of take a different approach to what like the camera module looks like. I do kind of like it. You know, I think it's better than the bump on the iPhone, honestly. Like I think it looks better.
Yep. I mean, it doesn't wobble. Did they do the wobble demonstration for you, Lisa? Where like if you put it on a table, it doesn't wobble from side to side?
No, they didn't do that demo for me. Our conversation focused more on, you know, the demos of showing what Tensor can do, and then some like forward-looking stuff, which, you know, we can talk about a bit later if we have time for it.
Yeah. T, what do you feel? I feel like you seem like you like the design.
Yeah, I mean, the hump is weird, but I'm okay with it. I appreciate that it doesn't rock. I'm with you, Lisa. The hump, the like bump thing on the iPhone stuff, it's weird looking. It's very inconveniently designed always. I like that they integrated this into the design. I like the two-tone thing. I'm a big fan of any phone that gets away from the kind of like drab black silver kind of thing. So give me all the colors. I would have liked brighter, weirder colors, if anything.
I think I think the Pixel 6. Now there are two lines. For people who are not all caught up, there are two lines: the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. The Pixel 6 does come in 3 colors. One is like a black on black. One is like a red, peachy red on a peachy pastel light orange thing, and then one is like a lime green on light blue. So those are very googly as of the last 2 or 3 pixels, you know, to be so colorful, which is nicer than just introducing one new color per year, right? With the Pixel 5, we got this green thing that was almost boring, and then I think the 3 was when they did almost pink or barely pink, and I went nuts for it.
Yeah, or not pink or something like that. I think it was like they always have these like fun, silly names.
Absolutely. And they were like, oh, we have fun with it. I'm like, you sure do. And I think the 6 itself has the like colorful options. The 6 Pro, which by the way will have and we'll get into the camera details in a bit, but it has an extra camera, has a black on black model, a silvery gray model, and then the orange, like light orange. I don't even know what to call that color. It's almost like a gold, but not a gold.
I was gonna say it's kind of goldish.
That should be the name of the color then. Kind of gold. That's very googly.
Oh God! Oh no! They might listen to this podcast and choose that name. But like what I said, right? The differences between the two don't stop at color. And what we know so far is that the cameras are different. So again, Google didn't share specifics. They want to wait till the launch. But we've got a sharper main camera with a bigger sensor that altogether lets in up to 150% more light, according to Google. And then paired with a ultra wide sensor, and on the Pro you get an extra telephoto that can go up to 4 times optical zoom. So it's a triple camera system on the Pro and like just a dual on the main or the regular Pixel 6, and like they both will be upgraded, right? At least to let in more light. Does that line up with what you heard, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I heard as well. And you know what's interesting here too is, and you know, adding that third camera lens is kind of a departure for Google, because they've always said like we don't need that because we do so much computational photography. Yeah. And now they have a chip that's designed for computational photography, among other things. And now they're adding that third lens. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting, but I thought that was an interesting direction to take for sure.
I didn't even think about that. That was like definitely a very good point. One last difference between the two before I want to tell you what the Pixel 6s can do is obviously the Pro is a little bit bigger than the regular. If I think the rumors are the screens are 6.4 and 6.7 inch in size, but obviously that's not official info from Google. That's just the rumors. it felt big. It felt like a Note 20 in my hand, the Pro. Lisa, did you feel like
those are the
boys?
actual sizes. I asked Google afterwards, and
Oh, sweet.
yes, so those are the actual sizes. And yeah, I mean, they felt really big. To be honest, my first impression when I saw them was, wow, this feels like a Samsung Galaxy phone almost,
Yes.
like just the way that it looks. The camera bar makes it stand out a bit, of course, but otherwise, like the design language, even the way like the screen is slightly curved on the Pro model, I was like, wow, okay, they're really going after Samsung with this phone. Like, it's very, very clear.
Do you hate that, T, that they're going sort of like taking a Samsung approach to design?
A little bit. I don't love Samsung's designs usually. I haven't seen the new Pixels in person, so I can't say for sure how much I'm going to love or hate the look. I will say I am concerned about those sizes, though. Those are 6.7 inches is huge.
Yeah, for a Pixel.
Well,
I mean, and I also will say it feels heavier than the existing Pixel. So that's more of my concern. Sorry, go ahead, T.
No, I was gonna say even 6.4 inches, like that's a big phone. That's usually like, I feel like that was what the Pixel 3 XL was like that size.
Yeah.
I think that was the larger of the two. So yeah. This is one of the things that has me on the fence about whether I'm gonna stay in the Pixel family.
Yeah. So Google has to win us over for those of us who don't want the bigger. To use a scale that has been previously used on this show, a honkster of a phone. Not a chonkster yet, because those are definitely, there's bigger phones out there, but these are honksters, right? And they have to win you over. And one of the big things that they're pushing is photography, computational photography. And they showed us a couple of demos, and I would love to hear if you were impressed by them, Lisa. But very quickly for our audience, one is in photos, where if you have a very like I say hyperactive a lot, but I don't mean to like misdiagnose anyone. So I'm just gonna say a fast moving subject. So a cat, a dog. Cats don't move that. Anyway, cat, dog, definitely not a turtle. Children. I don't know about cats anyway. So the Pixel 6 is supposed to really make that easier by correcting blurry images. It looks like what it's able to do, and it's I think in processing, so not like in real time through your viewfinder if your subject's moving, your studio and see their face still. It's like a after the fact thing, but they're going to use a combination of the fact that the two cameras will take pictures at different exposures. The main one will take regular, and then the other will take additional at faster shutter speeds, as well as sort of detect and look out for how your phone's moving. So basically sensor shift on DSLRs and stuff like that, to compensate for XY movement, for like movement sideways or vertically, and then calculate how to correct that picture. So that's one of the ways, and it felt like an obvious way almost, just because that's how a lot of cameras work nowadays, not on phones necessarily. And then the other was just like being able to apply computational things like HDR onto video, which is obviously a very taxing process that would drain a lot of battery power, but they were able to do that. To be clear, we didn't use the Pixel 6s. I didn't use the Pixel 6 at the meeting to shoot and test this out. What happened was Google showed us samples that they had on their phone or they had on a laptop somewhere. So not 100% sure if these weren't pre-recorded somewhere else, is what I'm trying to say. But Lisa, were you impressed, and did you see anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I saw exactly what you saw, Sherilyn, and it certainly was impressive. But to your point, it's hard to get excited about something until I use it myself, to be honest, because every demo is going to look nice, or else they wouldn't be using it as a demo, you know? And I think there's also something different about the impact that it makes when you're using it yourself and you find yourself like really excited about something that you're like, oh my gosh, like I have this problem all the time when I take photos, and now this just works. So like it doesn't hit as much when you're just looking at a demo. But I mean, it did look impressive. Like the HDR looked great. You know, I'm sure you saw the same demo. It was video footage of shot on the Pixel 6 alongside the same footage on the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pixel 5. And, you know, the Pixel 6 definitely looked better. I thought it had a good combination of making the colors really bold without oversaturating them and making them look unrealistic, like some phones do. But again, like I'm reserving any judgment until we actually use them, because it really is just hard to tell from a demo alone.
Yeah. One more change that Google made too from the Pixel 5 that I forgot to mention is they moved the selfie camera up front from the side to the middle of the screen. Don't know if that's it's gonna make a huge difference to my photos, but as someone who takes about 100 selfies a day, we'll see. We'll see. I think, yeah. Terrence, were you sort of expecting more, I think, from these demos? Like, did you want to see if Tensor could change more in the photography game?
No, I mean, I guess for me, photography seemed like a place that Google had kind of figured out what it was doing. The video demo specifically sounds kind of nice. But I was looking for them to leverage the machine learning more in different places, because I feel like they've already shown they figured it out on the imaging side. They've been using machine learning to deliver incredible photo results for years with, objectively lesser hardware. So the live captioning thing was something that was more kind of caught my eye. I'd kind of like to see them put that to work with making like the assistant more useful or something, or whatever the home feed thing that constantly serves up garbage I don't want to read.
Yes,
that's where I'd like to see it.
Oh man. We're gonna find out more, and there's obviously a lot more we don't know, and I'm gonna go over that in a little bit. But I so agree with you, Terrence. The Discover feed is garbage. One time, I don't know why I was interested in the Screen Actors Guild or something. They thought probably awards season, and they served me an article about the definition of the word sag. It means to droop, Fun. So yeah, great job there, Google. Maybe apply your machine learning and learn a little there.
Yeah,
But I will also say that Google did say it did overhaul its speech recognition with Tensor, and it's using a new API called Speech on Device API, SODA. So we're going to see improvements in voice tools as well. We also saw a demo of this keyboard dictation tool, where now you're going to be able to use hot words like send and clear to do those things. So like, blah blah, text Lisa, I'm on my way, or hit the microphone button on Gboard, say, hey Lisa, looking forward to you coming on our show, and then send, and then it would just send, and it did that was a demo we did see happen live on the Pixel 6, which is cool. I mean, I don't know if Lisa, you're excited for that.
I do think it's cool, and it's clear that Google is leaning into the areas where it's already really strong to begin with Tensor, like photography and speech recognition. But I don't know. I feel like, yes, it's more accurate and it's faster, but we've been able to send text messages like with our voice for years. And I even asked, I was like, this is cool, but why wouldn't I just ask the assistant to send that message for me instead of like opening the Android Messages app, like, half typing, half talking, because he showed that too, and that was pretty cool. But I don't know. I thought it was a cool demo, but not the most interesting application for that technology, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we're going to have to wait till the launch in the fall, which is, I'm guessing, October. I don't think they've set an actual date yet to learn more. To be clear, there's also other stuff that we don't know. For example, with Tensor, a question that I got online, and I want to quote the correct person. I believe it is D-Man, one of our regulars, who asked, what is the SoC's modem? So basically, what is the 5G situation going to be like? I asked what 5G radio they're going to use with this, and they couldn't answer. They basically were like, well, we're definitely going to support all the bands in the US. And I was like, so is it a Qualcomm radio? Because like there's not really any other brand in the US. And it was just like, well, there's a number of manufacturers that can make this type chip nowadays. So cool. So anyway, that's one thing we don't know. We're going to have to wait till the launch to learn. Processor cores, like which design. We got in a question from Jedi Mind Trick on You, AK also, whose name is Daniel. Who emailed us to ask what are the odds that the Tensor, apart from the Tensor TPU, what what are the odds that the rest of the chips, say the CPU and GPU, is just standard ARM design Cortex X1, A78 performance cores, A55 efficiency cores, and the Mali GPU. We don't know which GPU designs and CPU designs they're using yet, how many cores, what the clock speeds are. I don't know. Did they tell you, Lisa? They didn't tell me.
No, they didn't tell me any of the details about like the actual like design and different components of the chip. That's definitely a big question.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to wait till the fall to find out. But speaking of listener questions, I also wanted to acknowledge some of these. So John T, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It looks like it could be Giant with a big T at the end. A good question that a few people also ask: will these chips make it into other devices like Chromebooks, like some other? I can't think of other devices that Google makes besides Chromebooks. I don't know. What do you think, T? Would this make sense for Google to put this in a Chromebook, the Tensor chip?
I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that one. I think it would make sense if only because we've seen the push on the like laptop front towards ARM cores anyway, and if Google can move Chromebooks off of Intel hardware and start building something that's really capable that they can control on their own chips, great for them. But again, I think we need to see how it plays out on the phones before we start getting too excited about them building Chromebooks with it.
I mean, I could see it. Like, of course, I don't have any knowledge of whether this is actually going to happen or not. But if you think about like the trajectory that laptops are taking, like to Terrence's point, they could use a lot of improvement when it comes to like cameras, for one. Like I know we're all using webcams today because the cameras on most laptops are just terrible. So if that's something that Google could solve with computational photography in a Chromebook down the line, like that would be awesome. And also speech recognition, isn't huge on laptops. At least I don't really personally use it, but for the past few years, companies have been pushing it at least. Like they want every laptop to have, Alexa or Google Assistant and become kind of like the centerpiece of your room in addition to just being the device that you work on. So I could see that happening. Do I know if it's going to happen? Of course not, but it would be cool to see.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to wait beyond, I think, the fall launch to hear more about. And then I'll leave us with this last thought on all the Pixel stuff, which is Twitter user Big Audio replied about the article. And Big Audio expressed concerns over privacy. I think Big Audio was very concerned that, Google already has so much of our information, and SoC, will they build like a backdoor into the chip to send, Google all this information? While I think some of that is not going to happen, there are concerns, right? Google hasn't always been the best player when it comes to privacy and security. Are either of you concerned about Google with Tensor just introducing more ways to get your information? I don't know, Lisa?
I mean, it's always a concern. And I think, as people like us that review these devices all the time, it's definitely something that I feel like we need to like look out for and really dig into when we're, trying out these new things for the first time. I don't know. My opinion is that if you're already a Google user and you use Chrome every day, or use the Google Assistant, I don't think it's going to be that different, to be honest.
Right.
But I don't know, like Google knows, I don't know, every time they introduce a new feature, they're able to kind of connect the dots between like my data more. Like even just some of the stuff they showed at Google I/O about detecting patterns in your photos. Like that's kind of cool, but also like, I don't know, Google knows that I have a lot of, I don't know. I can't think of a good example, but you know what I mean? Like every new feature they introduce is more of them connecting the dots, I guess, which is one way to think about it.
Yeah. T?
Yeah, I'm not particularly concerned about Tensor, like as a chip being more of a danger to my privacy and security from Google. Because, they already have so much information. And I'm not going to say that I'm not worried about like Google having too much of my information. This is one of the reasons that I'm contemplating jumping ship at this point. Because, Apple's business isn't collecting my data and selling it. They want to sell me hardware. I have my other reasons for not wanting to go to Apple, but, my choices aren't good here. But Tensor specifically doesn't cause me any concern. Google... as an entity causes me concern. Like you said, Lisa, the photo thing creeps me out.
Oh.
That Google
Yeah.
is able to recognize photos of my child over the course of several years as he changes like pretty dramatically. You know, newborn child doesn't look anything like 4-year-old child, but Google knows. And
Yeah,
that
Black
is
Mirror.
bizarre and upsetting to me.
Yeah. We'll have to wait till the fall, I think, to see more about what Google is introducing with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro and Tensor. But yeah, I think for now we've really exhausted all we know. Anyway, thanks for joining us to chat all about this, Lisa.
Of course. Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Where can people find your work online and find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to insider.com and click on the reviews tab, that's where a lot of my work is. You can also find me on the tech page as well. So either page, but yeah, insider.com is where to find it.
Fantastic. Thanks again for joining us today, Lisa. We hope to have you back again.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to. Thanks again, guys.
All right, Ben, was that clean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was really
You're
clean.
good.
I just mute my mic, and so sometimes I.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that was very clean. I'm just taking a note of
Perfect.
where
So
it
Lisa, I know
was.
we're like 4 minutes out from what time I said you could bounce, so we can take about 4 minutes of Q&A with the audience.
Yeah, and we've got a bunch
sure.
of questions that I've banked. So yeah, let's just get into it. So 2 questions from a new chat commenter called Tech Pimp.
Hi.
That's we love
nice name.
Funny, yeah, we love funny nicknames here, and that's I think about as spicy as we'll let it get too. So Tech Pimp said that they're afraid that Tensor will be a mid-ranger with a few tricks like better voice recognition, and then they're going to charge flagship prices. And then on top of that, they also asked, does this phone have dual speakers? Does it have Bluetooth 5.2? So kind of a compound question. Does anyone have answers for that?
I mean, I'll start, and then Lisa or T can add on if you want to. We don't know about Bluetooth and dual speakers just yet. Sadly, there's just not a lot of specs we know about, unless Lisa, you know, and then we can you can feel free to jump in. And then for the whether it's going to be a mid-range SoC, I truly don't know. I if they do make it so that it's like not 800 level Snapdragon sort of equivalents, then I don't think they're going to charge same as Apple and Samsung has been charging for their flagships. I also doubt that they're going to charge as much. Like, I don't think the Pixel 6 series is going to cost as much as the iPhone 12 series or the Galaxy S21s did, but I could be wrong. I don't know. What's your sense, Lisa?
I mean, I think that's a big question. I think the price is probably the biggest question, and that's like the one thing we haven't really talked about yet. I don't know. To me, they looked like flagship phones. Like, I think they're going to charge a lot for these phones. And the good thing is I feel like the pricing for entry-level flagships have gone down a bit over the past couple of years. Like, instead of 900 to 1,000, it's more like around 800, I want to say, for like, you know, except for the iPhone 12 mini, which is a little cheaper. But yeah, that's a good point that, you know, we don't know anything about this chip. So hopefully it's not a mid-ranger, but I think they've messed up, not messed up, but they've changed direction with Pixel so much over the years that I feel like they can't afford to get this wrong. So I don't think, I want to believe that it won't just be like a mid-range chip with some tricks, but we'll have to see.
So that's also, just to jump in here, can we confirm that there are no benchmarks yet? Because there have been a lot of people asking about benchmarks. Just got to get it out there that there are no benchmarks yet, correct?
Yeah, I don't think they've even run that. I asked about benchmarks too. I was like, so are you guys going to run your benchmarks soon? I know that benchmarks suck, but are you going to run your benchmarks soon? And they're like, yeah, we don't have benchmark numbers to share yet. At least that's what they told me. They also said, like, Rick Osterwell was like, yeah, benchmarks have to be like overhauled anyway because this is like a new way of doing things, or more or less. So
sure.
I don't know, Lisa,
okay.
Did you get that from them?
And like, I wouldn't trust benchmarks straight from a company anyway, right?
No.
Oh God, no.
No,
They
definitely
never
not.
just released that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Related, by the way. Sorry. Go ahead, Lisa.
Oh no, I was gonna say I didn't hear anything about benchmarks either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean basically what we've discussed already is all I know.
I don't know if you've already banked these, Ben, but I'm going to quickly tackle 2 questions. Tech
Sure.
Pimp and Zeph Eneth. Let's start with Zeph Eneth because that's very fast. Are the images we have now not the official P6 pics? They are. The ones that you see on the Google Tensor articles from a handful of websites are the official Google issued pictures of the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Tech Pimp's question.
Oh, Zaffinef
Sorry.
also asked, "What does the Pixel 6 smell like?" And unfortunately, when you're at one of these hands-on things, I don't think you can really get weird with the phone and just like
Oh,
sneak
you
a little
can.
sniff.
I could have. I didn't.
Yeah, would
probably-
not recommend.
You probably had a
probably
mask
doesn't-
on though, right? So
I was gonna say, especially now, they probably don't want us putting these phones like all the way up to our faces now.
That's true.
We've got too much
you don't want to get
space.
sick.
Yeah, we've got too much space prophylaxis on. So
Tech Pimp's question that I was going to get to was how snappy did the phone feel? Was it as snappy as an S21U or S21 Ultra or iPhone 12? So Lisa, I don't know if you noticed this, but when they were showing off Material U and he was changing the colors of the system by changing the wallpaper and that sort of stuff, I felt like it flew. I felt like it was able to repaint the interface quite quickly. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it happened literally like as we were talking about it, like it was pretty instantaneous. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna choose this photo, and now you'll notice that this is different." And like as he was saying it, like it was already done. Like it seemed very quick.
Yeah, so that and the voice dictation were quick. It does seem snappy. So far, the things that we've seen, like repainting an entire system's UI and voice recognition and sending messages, those seemed fast. Live caption also seemed fast.
So question on the UI repainting thing though. How does that work? Because that would
algorithm or
like what exactly are they changing? Because that would tell me how impressive that is really. Like if it's literally just like they've defined a thing that's built into a certain set of like icons and whatever, and it's just pulling like an averaged hue out of whatever photo you take. That's not really super intensive. That could happen very quickly. But if it's actually repainting icons that haven't been built with this field or whatever, that's a little bit different.
That it does that. Like you repaint. So like one thing I noticed and again, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong or you saw something different, but one thing I noticed to you was that like, okay, so it's changing interface colors like menu, settings panel, whatever. But the icons for messages, third-party apps, whatever at the bottom and on the homepage were also repainted the same color to match. Like if it went from like a very blue dominant picture to a pinkier thing or the other way around. And like the apps change color to match. The app icons change color to match. And it was system wide, which I personally don't like because then they just started to blend into the background. I was like, I want to see my apps. You have the option of retaining your original app colors too, which was nice. I want my Uber to be black as my heart when I feel like I'm using Uber. I don't know.
No, but that's a good point. Like I'm so used to recognizing the apps that I use every day and like not even reading what they say, but just like muscle memory, like knowing like what the icon looks like. So yeah, I wonder how that would affect that.
Yeah.
So a big question that we've had from several different people is any plans for the global launch? There are several people, especially who are asking when the Pixel 6 is going to come to India. So is there any understanding of when that might be?
Not that we know at the moment. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till the fall to learn more about that. But I will say they typically launch their Pixel phones in India. And, you know, Sundar gets a lot of people hitting him up going like, yo, bro, how about your home country, man?
There's that. And I think in a lot of cases, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and it's also a question of how much. You know, is this going to be like exorbitantly expensive for whatever reason?
Yep, exactly.
So we got that, and I think maybe one of the last questions. Actually, there was one good comment and then one last question. The one good comment comes from Mike Jones Jr. that says that Google's Tensor probably has a dedicated advertising core.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that one.
So yeah, sure, maybe it's possible,
Oh
and
boy.
not actually possible, but like it's a good joke given Google's reputation. And then Chain Sapphire asks my favorite question that I ask all the time: what's the deal with the headphone jack? Does it seem like it has a headphone
Yeah,
jack?
Terrence asked me that almost immediately when I got back from my briefing too. I didn't see one. Lisa?
I didn't see one, but I was also so focused on like
same.
asking about Tensor and everything that
Yeah.
like I don't want to say I didn't notice, but or I wasn't looking for it, but I just was focused more on the new design and all that.
I got a smashed up Pixel 3 here, no headphone jack. I got a Pixel 5 from last year, no headphone jack.
We're not getting a headphone jack. As much as I want one, we're not getting the headphone jack back.
Not on the premium lines, but the A series, at least as of the 4A, there's still a headphone jack. So maybe the 5A, which we're expecting will come out anytime now.
But the 5A also won't have a Tensor processor
exactly.
though. So you're buying last gen tech just to get that headphone jack. I don't know.
Maybe the headphone jack is the last gen tech.
Fight me.
That's it. I quit.
Jonathan Anderson in the chat says, "What's a headphone jack?" Yeah. It's so we're running a little overtime for when I promised Lisa we would end. So I feel like we have to let Lisa get back to her day. We will come back to address more questions in another segment break later on. But Lisa, thanks for joining us today again.
Of course.
Ben,
thank you guys.
Yeah, so we're figured out with that. I told you like right before we went live how to send that file to me. So just export it as a WAV file and send it to me, and we'll be all good. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye,
Talk
Lisa.
soon.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Can I fix my curtain?
Yes, you can fix your curtain if you like.
Go fix your curtain. I'm gonna while you do that, I'm gonna just keep addressing the chat, I guess, really quick.
Yeah. For anyone who isn't familiar with like who does what at Engadget, the reason that both Terrence and I are so all in on the headphone jacks is that Terrence does all of the music technology stuff. So like he has headphones on headphones on headphones, just like 3.5 millimeter jacks all over the place.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's important to have.
And also, I just want to throw it out there. One of the reasons I'm so anal about it is Bluetooth latency. If you're doing any sort of like audio app that's not just listening to music, if you want to like make music on a phone, that's a big problem. That's why everybody uses iPhones for it, is because the latency is so much lower for audio because Apple has control over everything. And also, USB-C might be the worst designed port in the history of ports.
What?
And
why?
They all break within like 6 goddamn months. So like I have a headphone jack adapter for my Pixel that hasn't worked in 2.5 years. I have to sit there and like finagle the charger into my Pixel to get it to like charge at all. I
don't know how you're using your USB-C.
The USB-C, one of the USB-C ports on my MacBook Pro stopped working after about 6 months as well. I had to switch ports that I was using to charge because it stopped working. Like USB-C is a garbage port. Garbage.
So we've got one. Yeah, hot take alert. We've got one question from asking about whether or not this Tensor chip is good for gaming. We got to wait for benchmarks. We don't even know. That's a big problem. We don't even know. And if Google said we've got amazing benchmarks, I think the general Engadget answer would be like, we'll see. We'll see when we actually do the independent assessment, because every company will say that they have amazing, incredible, groundbreaking benchmarks, and we'll see.
Quickly before we go into the next segment, hi to Tyrick White, who said that you're late. No, you're not. You're here. That's all that matters. Thanks for joining us. And then Gabriel says, dang, Terrence went in on the language. Usually that's Sherlin's job about 30, 40 minutes.
Wait, did I actually swear? I was really doing my best not to. I was really trying so hard.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Yeah, I think I have like dog ears for that in recording situations, and I don't think you did. I think it was also because Julio was shaking your camera feed to help get across the fact that you were annoyed at this. Okay, so now people are saying that USB-C either is good or isn't good. That's a good sign to move on. Terrence, are you comfortable enough on this Activision Blizzard stuff to start off with it?
Oh God, not really.
Okay, sure. No, that's fine.
I can kick it off to you and ask you your thoughts. Or if you want, the trick is you just open the article now and then you just read off the article.
I mean, I have it in front of me. I was
While you read, I want to shout out one last thing. I promise, one last thing. Wilso is here, and Wilso was like, don't even get me started on the USB-C standard. Sure. I just want to say congratulations to Wilso, who on our last chat, or one of our last chats, told us that you got a new job. You finally got a job at Apple. Congratulations. We're very happy for you. Anyone that's here to share happy times with us, we're here to support you. So there you go.
Yay.
T, you ready for to speak Activision on, or no? You want me to do it?
Well, I was gonna say, what do we want?
I can throw it to you.
What do we want to start with about it? You can throw to me would be easier, but what do we want to start with the fact that he stepped down, or do we want to start with the second lawsuit?
I feel like the second suit would be a better way to start, but it's up to you. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the second suit is a good way to start, and then do the stereotypic
like
TV
addendum.
news thing of like, and this comes amid. I hate when people say amid, but like this comes after Blizzard's president stepped down, so on and so on.
I feel like that's a challenge, and I'm going to have to use that word now. Right?
All right, let's see.
All right, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I got the article. I'll figure it out.
And if you need help, I got you.
All right,
come on, you do this. You have a radio show. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
you don't know Activision. Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know Activision. I don't know gaming. I'm also like, I'm out of practice. In my other show, when we run out of things to say, I get to play music. I get to just go, this is a natural place for me to cut this off, have a beer, and subject everybody to my musical tastes.
I enjoy watching you struggle. Okay. I got it open to help you out too. Okay.
All right.
Ben, ready? I'll throw it to T.
Yep, hit it.
Right. So moving on to some other news, there were some updates this week to the ongoing Activision Blizzard case that we were talking about last episode. Believe there is a second suit. T, what can you tell us about this?
So yeah, as if it wasn't enough that Activision was the subject of one lawsuit and then its president stepped down, now it's being sued by Rosen Law, which filed a class action suit on behalf of investors who happen to trade Activision stocks and securities, I guess, for misrepresenting the corporate culture, basically. This is the same firm that sued, who was it? Hang on.
CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red, following the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. So it's accusing them of intentionally failing to disclose ongoing problems with sexual harassment and discrimination, and says that the company basically put itself at risk of like intense legal scrutiny and like regulatory enforcement. So the suit names the CEO, Bobby Kotick, as well as several other execs as defendants, and is looking to recover financial damages. It's a class action suit, so we'll see how that goes. These are always like complicated situations that take a very, very long time to play out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like is this like something worth suing company over? Like, is it not like this is something I've not really heard of happen a lot, right? Like, oh, this like does every big company that like gets exposed for bad behavior get a suit like this? I know CD Projekt Red apparently was sued over disastrous launch of Cyberpunk. Like, is that a worthy like thing to sue someone over. Can I just sue you next time, Terrence? Like, hey, you don't have your life in order and it affected me. You know what I mean?
I guess I understand where you're coming from. It's a very weird thing at face value to sue a company for, like to sue on behalf of investors for saying like your company kind of was like a frat house.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, whatever tools at our disposal to discourage companies from being like frat houses, have at it.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the law around this stuff to really comment in any sort of authoritative way. Like, to be frank, like I don't know what the rules and laws are around disclosure when it comes to
investor relations.
Like investor relations, when it comes specifically though to like internal investigations and complaints about sexual harassment and workplace conditions and stuff. You know, it's one thing when it's an external investigation. Like obviously you have to disclose certain things if the SEC comes after you, but somebody files a complaint to HR that they've been sexually discriminated. What are the rules around that in terms of disclosure for your investors? And I don't know. And I can see how that might be sort of weird gray area, because if you're every time somebody comes to HR with a complaint, you're forced to like send out a letter to every stockholder. And if you're a company like Activision, that's a lot of stockholders, that, you know, can induce panic and induce sell-offs. And then we're also getting into the realm of like, is stockholder capitalism really the best way to be doing business? But that's a different podcast.
So we could go talk to TechCrunch about that another time. It did sound a little bit like we were veering into like differences between civil and criminal suits, because like civil too, like almost sounds like you could, anything is fair game almost, and then criminal, you really have to have broken the law, it feels like. So like, and criminal is where, you know, it feels like more of a punishment for bad behavior, whereas like in civil, it's also punishment for bad behavior, but it starts to feel like petty, especially when it gets to like lower courts and like, you know, people suing their neighbors for no reason. Anyway,
I was gonna say, no matter what, it's a class action suit. Anybody who bought stock, or even if they didn't know it, ended up with stock between August 4th of 2016 and July 27th of 2021 would be eligible, should this suit settle, to get a reward from it. So if you go look at your mutual funds or whatever, and if you just happen to have Activision stock, you could be in for $4.21 7 years down the road. Congratulations.
Wow. I mean, that's like a Taco Bell thing.
Yeah, that's not even a combo meal at Taco Bell.
Oh, no. Oh no! Oh well. Was there anything else that happened at Activision with everything that's going on?
I did mention at the top of that the CEO or the president, I don't actually think it's the CEO, stepped down this week. I want to say Tuesday. Obviously he is the subject of the lawsuit around just sexual discrimination and sexual harassment that kind of exploded over these last couple of weeks. Double checking his name, J. Allen Brack. I didn't want to screw that up because, as we established before, I'm not Activision. I'm not the beat reporter there.
That's not you.
Yes, but yeah, he's quote stepping down from his role. And Jen O'Neill and Mike Barra, formerly an Xbox exec, are taking over as kind of co-leaders. The company didn't really say much about it. You know, not surprisingly, they're kind of like, he's stepping aside and we're going to move forward, and we'll see what happens.
He's the one that's got to take the fall, maybe.
I mean, he should take the fall probably, but also more people should probably take the fall. Shouldn't be alone in that.
Not just one person. Yeah. This felt systemic. Well, anyway, this is clearly an ongoing case. We're going to keep, you know, reporting any major updates. And, you know, we've got an article, I think, by Jess Condit this week on Engadget.com, if not at least a video about just, you know, how gaming culture has sort of always been like this. And this is just another example of it. So be sure to check that out. Speaking of tricky like laws and law cases, and this is just a quick mention because I think it was just worth pointing out that the national labor relations board officer has recommended that just Amazon broke U.S. labor law. So it's recommending that the workers at an Alabama warehouse hold a new election. It's not a proper ruling yet; it's a preliminary ruling, but it's about unionizing. It's about workers giving workers a chance to have a new election on whether they want to join the RWDSU, which is a retail, wholesale, and department store union, because in April, workers at that fulfillment center, they voted against unionization, but the margin was like more than 2-1.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like a re-election or a re-vote will really change things, but I think the main takeaway here is that there were labor laws that were violated.
Yeah, the Bessemer fulfillment center was kind of at the center of a lot of the stuff flying around about how Amazon treats its employees, largely because it was this first real big test of unionizing over there. And I know there's still going to be a continued push to get warehouses and fulfillment centers and drivers working for Amazon organized and into the unions. And I think you're right. Is it going to change the outcome? Probably not, because it was shot down by a margin of almost 2-1. Yeah. But I do think also that this is kind of an important recognition of what everybody was kind of saying all along, which is that Amazon wasn't really playing fair. And it was really, if not directly violating the law, which, we can't say for sure it was, because this isn't a final decision. It was at least violating the spirit of the law, which is almost as important. I will say this, and this is probably a much bigger conversation. This seems like a weird place to test your efforts to unionize an Amazon fulfillment center. Bessemer, Alabama, I'm sure it's a very nice place to live. I'm sure, the people of Alabama love their having safe jobs with reliable wages, but Alabama isn't exactly known for like being a bastion of organized labor or liberalism or anything like that. So if you're going to push to unionize a warehouse in Amazon, maybe start someplace else. We have a fulfillment center here on Staten Island in New York. I bet they'd be a little bit more on board. Just saying.
You just want to get the people who are in your neighborhood Amazon fulfillment center unionized.
Yeah, no, 100% I do. I know people who work there. It's a terrible place.
So there's a bunch of other news this week. There are more. Hang on, let me pause a little bit. Something is playing on my... Oh, there it is.
You got it.
Okay, let me take that again. Did any of you hear that?
No.
Nope.
Good. All right, let me take that again. Moving on from law and ongoing cases and news related to that to more hard gadget news, because after all, we are Engadget. This week, Google didn't just show off the Tensor. There was also new Nest cameras and doorbells. This is 4 new devices that Google Nest unveiled. And the standout, I think the highlight of this is that there is the new doorbell, which is not the Hello, but the new Nest doorbell, runs on battery power, as does the new Nest Cam, which is available for use in both indoor and outdoor situations. So these two, the battery powered devices, are going to be available soon. I believe August 27th or 24th. And the other 2 products, a Nest Cam with a floodlight and a indoor wired Nest Cam, they're both going to be available a little later in the year. So, I mean, I don't know about you, T. Do you use a bunch of security cameras for your home? Smart doorbell?
Nope. No? I don't have a smart doorbell. I do not trust them. I do have a security camera. I usually I only have it because I got it for free with my security system. I didn't buy it on purpose. And it has a physical shutter, which is the only reason that I feel comfortable with it at all.
What brand is it?
The Simply Safe.
Ah, okay.
So it's got a physical shutter and no microphone, and I'm like, fine.
Right. Okay, cool. I like the idea of a security camera. I think that I adore the added security. I feel like it gives me peace of mind when I have to leave my home, right? I have one pointing at my door or whatever. But I
have a dog. That's my security.
There you go. There you go. You leave your dog at home when you go. Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's where pets belong.
I guess. I don't know. If you're not at home for too long, you're gonna need someone to go feed it, and you have someone to come dog sit or something. Anyway, if you like a new Nest doorbell or new Nest camera, the battery power version is just convenient, What I do like though about the new Nest devices is that they come with onboard storage that can help you in times of internet outage, power outage. So just in case your router breaks or something, you'll still be able to get alerts and recorded events on board. And then obviously one of the big things I've personally felt was an issue with all these security systems or security camera products is that you also have to sign up for 24-hour recording or 24-hour playback, that sort of thing. It's this additional fee that you have to keep paying, and I don't like it. So what Google's done with this new update is also to expand what it covers with the free tier of service. I believe, let me just double check what the extra stuff you get now. But basically when you sign up for, let me just pull up the freaking name. Hang on. Sorry, Ben, you're going to have to, there it is. Okay. So basically when you sign up for Nest Aware, and there's Nest Aware and Nest Aware Plus, when you get Nest Aware, that's $6 a month. Nest Aware Plus gets you all the top features for $12 a month. You get a 30-day event video history. You get familiar face detection, which is one of the features that Google has. And then, with Plus, you get additional sound sensing emergency. So the more bonus AI-based features. But the free tier, at least you get I keep pausing on this. My notes are all over the place. I'm just going to finish on this.
The free tier, do they just still collect your data to improve their AI, but don't give you any of the benefits? Is that it?
I don't know. Damn, bro. Okay. At the free tier, you now get up to 3 hours of event video history. Not a lot, I guess, but I think that's 3 hours of recorded video. So say nothing happens in your house for 24 hours, there's no recorded video, right? So as long as things happen. So that's still a significant amount of time to have for free. And then everything is powered by the Google Home app now. So that's nice. These things are also a new design. So, hey, if you're into smart homes, if you're, into a new smart doorbell that you can watch from your phone, these camera feeds that a lot of people are using to look at porch pirates, which is a really good use case for these things. There's new options here. So go to Engadget.com. Our article up there with all the details is up. And then I love to just talk about the weird gadgets that we hear about all the time. Terrence, did you know that Amazon has made a $55 soap dispenser that's kind of smart because it'll, I guess, sing a song for 20 seconds to make sure you're washing your hands for long enough?
So to be clear, it will not sing a song. It has a light display that'll count down for 20 seconds. But if you also have an Alexa device, if you have one of their Echoes, then the Echo will sing a song in sync with the soap dispenser light countdown.
Oh Lord!
Why? Why?
Oh my God! I can't even deal with this, sir. But okay, I mean, what 1.5 years into the pandemic now? It's okay, we're gonna We're gonna do a smart soap dispenser. Is it at least hands-free? I can't tell. But it works with
believe it
Alexa.
is.
Right.
I believe it is hands-free. I'd have to double check.
Is good. I guess now you can tell Alexa dispense soap. I don't you know. Oh, my Alexa just sorry babe. hey hun, chill. But yeah, there you go. If you ever wanted a $55 soap dispenser that isn't Simple Human, that works with Amazon's Assistant, here's an option. Yeah, another fun thing that is I find very cute. I don't know how you think about this, T. A new Tamagotchi, but an R2D2 Tamagotchi. So Disney and Bandai teamed up to bring R2D2 to Tamagotchi form. It's exactly like I just said it. It's available in like 2 color schemes, a blue on white and a white on blue, and you basically can keep an R2D2 alive. It won't poop, apparently.
No.
But if he sits for too long, he'll accumulate dust that you can clean away. I can't.
This
it's so cute.
It is very cute. I have nothing bad to say about this necessarily. Whatever. Tamagotchis are fine. R2D2 is fine. But I will say that Chris Holt, one of our writers who wrote this particular story, made a really good point, which is why wouldn't they go the Mandalorian route and have it be the child as opposed to R2D2? Right? That would make so much more sense. This was a really bizarre choice. If you're going to make a Star Wars Tamagotchi, why R2D2?
Because it's so popular. I mean, I agree that like Yoda the droid is... of all things, yeah. Baby Yoda is also very popular, but Baby Yoda is a newer character. I almost feel like
I was going to say though, more current. Like, yes, newer, but more current of the zeitgeist as opposed to R2D2, which is like that's your parents' Star Wars. Come on.
Right. Well, but it's also me, you know? Like, I mean, I like to think that I'm really young. But, you know, think of the Tamagotchi generation. Think of the people who actually know what a Tamagotchi is. Like,
they're also too young for the original Star Wars.
Right. I mean,
I'm of the Tamagotchi generation. And I was born after the first 2 Star Wars came out.
Sure, but I still am more familiar with R2 than I am with Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda is more in the zeitgeist. But my idea of Yoda, or maybe they just don't want you to take care of Baby Yoda until he grows old and he starts telling you like Star Wars, you are not.
You know what it is. I bet it's 100% a thing of Disney was like, we can't have people killing Baby Yoda through neglect. A droid powers down, shuts off. That's less violent,
can come back to life,
dark, whatever. Right. But we can't have people killing Baby Yoda. I actually 100% think that is it.
It could be that. It could be multiple licenses involved with Baby Yoda and the grown-up Yoda character. I don't know. Who knows? But anyhow, if you want an R2D2 Tamagotchi, you can pre-order it. I see a link on our article to Amazon where it's available for like $20 for pre-order, and they'll be actually shipping or available in November on November 11th. So there you go. I think that was it for our other news. Ben, do you want me to transition into working on?
Yeah, just do a straight transition into working on.
Okay. Well, so let's move on to what we've been working on, Terrence. In addition to editing my numerous articles, I'm so sorry about that. What are you working on?
No need to apologize, Sherlyn. It is a pleasure, and it is also literally my job.
Oh God. What else? What else are you working on?
There's a wait. Hold on. There's a.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're gonna wait for
a truck.
Okay.
Truck backing up down the block from me.
I just think that it's very funny that when I was small, my parents were like, "Oh, why are we getting like these Tamagotchis? Why are we like investing any money in like this Pokemon stuff? Like, there's just going to be a new fad. This is all going to be on the trash heap in 3 years."
And it's back.
No, well, I mean, it never left. I see people.
I don't know that that's true. It left.
It did leave.
And it came back.
Okay, maybe Tamagotchi did, but Pokemon, like, ooh boy.
Sure.
I think even that had its ebbs and flows.
I'm not sure. I mean, now I'm seeing people like set out, the 3 original starter Pokemon, like little stuffed plushies for their child. The people who grew up with Pokemon setting them out for their child and seeing like which one they crawl toward, but like they're gonna get all 3 anyway.
T, we can just continue from where you're about to start saying what you were working on. Just dive right into it.
Yeah.
Sure. So what am I working on? So I had a review go up earlier this week for the Modal Electronic Sculpt synth, which was sort of a fun and interesting like $200 like entry level synthesizer. It's definitely worth checking out. It sounds really amazing. It's also, however, built like a toy and a little bit confusing. But if you're in the market for like your first hardware synthesizer, it's not a bad choice. And then coming up pretty soon, I don't want to put a date on it. Doing something a little bit weird and different, both for myself and for Engadget. I'm reviewing a Cricut machine, which, by the way, I thought was Crycut this for like years.
Me too.
But apparently it's Cricut, which, if you're not familiar, is basically like a desktop craft CNC machine. So instead of carving out wood, you can cut like paper and vinyl and stuff like that to do like stickers and iron-on shirts or wall art. And it will cut like very thin wood, like project board or whatever, or like balsa wood. So if you ever see those like 3D animal puzzle things that like are like the really thin,
right? The link things.
You can cut those out on the machine and then put it together, which I'm kind of intrigued by. I'm like, I'm going to do this for my kid and see how he likes it. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm kind of excited for something new and weird and different.
What's the tech angle? Jeez.
I mean, it's a CNC machine that fits on your desk and is like really approachable. So, a CNC machine is the kind of thing that normally you'd have to like go to a maker space or have a woodworking shop, and there's very obtuse software that would have to run it. Yeah. You really need to be trained on it. This has like a really easy to use app that installs on your phone or iPad.
Oh, there's an app. There you go.
Or your computer, and you can import images. They have like a library of like kind of stock stuff that you can pull from to do like, the first thing I did was print out a couple of stickers and like slapped one on my laptop that's just like a cassette, because why not? I also like did a floppy disk and tried to see if I could use it as a stencil. That didn't quite work out, so we won't bring that on camera.
Nope.
But yeah, like, I don't know, I'm gonna make a t-shirt for my kid. We'll figure some other stuff out. I was like contemplating building like a guitar pedal and then like using that to cut out graphics for it to put on there. Just just doing things, making stuff and doing things.
Okay, you're getting crafty. All right. Well, meanwhile, for me, I'm getting ready for Samsung next week. People on this show know, people who listen to the show a lot know that Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked event is coming up on August 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Our What to Expect article is up on Engadget.com, as well as a video on our YouTube channel. We basically know what to expect, foldables and wearables. So go check it out and come join us on August 11th at about 9:40 a.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, because we will be doing a live stream, watch with us sort of an event. It'll be fun. I don't know if it'll be as cringe as their awesome Unpacked event, but we like to hang. We like to hang out with y'all and talk to y'all. So that's my life for the next few weeks, I'm going to say.
Yep, you're just all Samsung all the time.
It's also going to be your life, Terrence, because you're going to have to edit all of that stuff in like one day.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah. It's exciting. Awesome. Okay. Well, when we're not working ourselves to the bone, what do you do for fun, Terrence?
What do I do for fun? That's a really deep question.
What's your yeah. Oh boy, I don't really want to know.
You're opening up a can of worms.
Gross.
Well, I was gonna say we mentioned it kind of briefly in passing before, but I do host a semi-weekly community radio show on makerparkradio.nyc. That's every other Wednesday from 6 to 8. So this coming week, which is the 11th, will be the next episode. It's called Two Drink Minimum. It's a show primarily about beer and the beer industry. Me and my co-host Sean Torres, who is one of the co-founders and brewers at Killsborough Brewing Company. We do some tastings. We talk about styles of beer. We talk about brewing beer. I am a relatively avid home brewer, although I have not brewed anything since the pandemic started. We'll have guests on from other breweries to kind of talk about those, or from within the industry to just talk about trends and stuff like that. We'll also have other home brewers on to talk about their experience in making beer. So if you like beer at all in any sort of like relatively nerdy way, you'll enjoy that. It's also an opportunity for me to foist my musical tastes on people. Generally, it's a 2-hour show, so there's a lot of room to fill. Generally, that show tends towards like hip hop, R&B, and like sort of like avant pop stuff. But also, if you don't want to listen to that show and you still want to be subjected to my musical taste, one thing I generally won't play on there because it doesn't have a place is the new Backwash album, which I do think everybody should go listen to. And I want to pull it up because it has a very complicated name and I don't want to screw it up. But
Backwash as in back X. How do you spell that?
Yes, it is Back X Wash, all one word. She is a rapper based out of Montreal. And this is, here we go. Bandcamp was really dragging on me. I lie here buried with my rings and my dresses. So it is, there we go. Nice. She is a, very dark, very aggressive. The album has a lot of kind of new metal influences, which is not a thing I thought I would ever be in favor of, but the album is great. Her previous album, God Has Nothing to Do With It, Leave Him Out of This, is also amazing. That actually won the Polaris Prize last year, which is kind of like Canada's wannabe Grammys. So they're both available on Bandcamp. I believe God Has Nothing to Do With This, Leave Him Out of It is free, or pay what you want. I don't remember how much I Lie Here Buried with My Rings and My Dresses is, but I don't believe either of those are on streaming. So if you do want to hear them, you're going to have to go to Bandcamp. And by the way, Bandcamp Friday is this week. So the 6th of August is Bandcamp Friday. So a really good time to go buy that album because every penny will go directly to the artist and Bandcamp doesn't take a cent.
And we do not, we're not sponsored by Bandcamp, but Terrence
we are
just
not
wanted to
sponsored
say
by Bandcamp. Bandcamp Friday is just like, it's a thing I look forward to.
That is great. I can always count on you on the music recommendations tea. But for myself, I don't listen to music that much. I relax by watching TV, playing games, whatever. This week, since Devindra's out, Ben, our producer, recommended I just drop my trashiest recommendations here. So this week I am recommending Gunpowder Milkshake on Netflix. It's not very trashy, but it is. I was kind of bummed when I was watching it that the reviews weren't better, basically. And like anytime there's like a movie that's not very well reviewed, Devindra's like, and I'm just like, all right, fine, I'm not going to talk to you about it. But anyway. Gunpowder Milkshake is a very like highly stylized movie starring a whole bunch of big names. We've got Karen Gillan. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. I'm going to actually get Karen Gilliam. But it's spelled Gillan. I don't know where the second I. Gillan. Karen Gillan, Lena Headey, Carla Gugino, y'all, and I can't. Chloe Coleman from Upload, Michelle Yeoh, lots of big and Angela Bassett, by the way, not to forget. A lot of women in this film. Basically Karen, I'm just gonna say Karen because we're buddies, is sort of an assassin for hire, and then her assassin organization or her employers turn on her, so she needs help, and she runs to this place called the library where they check out weapons hidden in books, basically. And it's very loose premise. It's a very almost like a what's that word, tenuous plot line. Just to watch a lot of like kick-ass action, basically. It's kind of gory, and it's she's trying to protect this little girl played by Chloe, I mentioned earlier. Damn it. Played by Chloe Coleman. And there's just a lot of like ass kicking, and the fight scenes are so unique. I don't even know how to describe it. Like the fight scenes I've never seen anything like this before. There's gore. There's one scene where, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's one scene where you feel like she can't do anything, but she somehow does take down 3 big bad guys. So check it out if you just want some mind-numbing action. There you go. But as always, I overachieve, and I have a second recommendation because Terrence knows me. Terrence knows that I can't do just enough. I have to overdo it.
Yeah.
So so when I'm not watching TV, I am scrolling Instagram. Although not much nowadays. I'm really like just trying to limit that. But when I do want to see something uplifting, I've recommended baby Instagram accounts before. This time around is Hey Bella Foodie on Instagram, or at Bella Foodie on TikTok. It's just this little girl and her mom, and she is a dip queen. She likes to dip her food in dips, and she's just super cute. I think what it is like little kids at that age, as they're figuring out speech and talking in complete sentences, they're just freaking adorable. But then she's also eating a lot of food, and her mom also shares recipes of what she cooks for Bella, and they're all surprisingly really easy, like just homemade wontons and homemade tonkatsu and that sort of stuff. So if you are a fan of cute babies eating delicious food and you want to see that on your feed, check out Hey Bella Foodie on IG or at Bella Foodie on TikTok. All right. Ben, do you want me to wrap it up?
Yeah, wrap it up.
All right. Well, that's it for the episode this week, everyone. Thank you, as always, for listening. Our theme music is by game composer Dale North. Our outro music is by our very own Terrence O'Brien. The podcast is produced by Ben Elman. You can find Terrence online. Terrence, where can people find you?
On Twitter, I am just at Terrence O'Brien, lots of E's, no A's, and on Instagram, _Terrence _O'Brien _ because things.
Okay. If you have pictures of cute babies or animals eating delicious looking foods and you don't mind sharing them, you can send them my way on Twitter. I am at Sherlyn Lowe. Email us your thoughts at podcast@engadget.com. Leave us a review, please, on iTunes, and subscribe on anything that gets podcasts, including Spotify.
Okay, we are clear.
Sweet.
Yay.
We're going to stick around for a bit of Q&A, T.
Yeah, we're going to stick around a little bit for Q&A and stuff. It's interesting. Wilso in the chat just said, "Oh, he does the music," as in like, oh, finally
Yep,
seeing
T.
Terrence. Yes.
Hi.
Terrence is
It's
the
me.
one who does the music. It's also nice that it seems like Wilso listens to the actual finished product of the podcast, which is amazing to me, honestly. Like, I don't know if I'd listen to the recording session and then the finished product, but thanks for doing that. I go
Or
through
Wilso always hears me do the outro.
True. No, that is more likely. Occam's razor situation.
Shout out to Chris Velasco, who's tuning in right now. Screw
little
you
late
and
there.
stay away. Yeah.
Chris Velasco said, "Oh damn, I missed like the whole thing."
You really did, kid.
we have any more questions about Google
if
stuff?
anybody
Or?
has any other questions or comments that you want to talk about, I think that Terrence was totally on the mark when he was talking about the reason that Baby Yoda isn't a Tamagotchi is because nobody at Disney wants anyone to be able to kill Baby Yoda.
Right.
I think that's exactly what their logic would be.
Yeah, totally. A lot of people apparently were chatting around the R2D2 conversation, the Tamagotchi conversation, and it was just like, oh, what would happen if you neglected to take care of your R2D2 Tamagotchi? Sir Derty Dirty was like, oh, you would throw his carcass in the river, but is R2D2 waterproof, or is he like cell phones these days? Is he IP68?
I imagine that. Wait, hold on.
Jedi mind trick on you said if you neglected it,
R2D2 on Dagobah? I
home.
think R2D2 was on Dagobah. I think R2D2 was actually sitting in the X-Wing the whole time while the X-Wing sank into the swamps. And so R2D2 ended up okay. Therefore, R2D2 has a very high IP. Was it IPA rating?
Probably 5 ATMs maybe as an IP rating, but also there's other types of water resistance ratings like 5 or 10 ATM even. Maybe.
Okay, yes, but R2D2 highly water resistant.
A good question from Tokyo Paul 360. Hi everyone. Hi Tokyo Paul 360. They wonder if Pixel 6 does HDR video. This is one thing that yes, we were shown a demo of HDR video where HDR net was applied to video recording as it was happening. So you're seeing this through the viewfinder. You'll be seeing the HDR effects through the viewfinder live, not just after you record the video. So that'd be pretty cool.
And do you know about resolutions?
I didn't even know the screen size, but at least it just confirmed 6.4 and 6.7 inches. I mean
resolution for the video.
Oh, of the video? I wouldn't be surprised if 4K, but
yeah,
again,
I was about to
not
ask.
very many. Not very many details were given.
I wouldn't be surprised if for live HDR though, it's got to be 1080p.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be able to do 4K at that. That's intense.
It would be insane. Yeah. If it's just regular video 4K and then with live HDR applied, it'll be like maybe full HD.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There were questions while Lisa were around that we didn't get to that I also wanted to address. Like, how did the curved screen look? Excuse me. I thought it looked really nice. I actually enjoy. Like, I'm not a fan of curved screens in general because it can make the phone very hard to use. Accidental touches and that sort of stuff. I didn't hold the phone for long enough to trigger anything by accident because of the curved screen, but I like the aesthetic of it. Mm-hmm. I also don't hate it. It is a very much more squarish design than before though. So it's hard to tell.
It's because the hump seems so stark and so I know the edges of it are curved, but it seems like this very sharp, stark element in the design. The curved screen seems like a weird choice. Like, why not just lean into the kind of stark, harsher things rather than try to do both the sharp contrast and the weird, subtle curve thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Design hasn't always been Google's strong point, especially on the hardware side.
They're good at colors.
Yeah, consistency in design is not a strong suit of theirs.
Yeah, because if you had a Pixel 5, you had to buy new cases for the Pixel 6 for sure. Every generation is new cases, that sort of thing. Did you see anything, Ben, that you wanted to bring up?
Oh yeah, there was one thing that came up just recently. So Brad S asked, I want my Google Home to stop making ghost devices. Is there a fix for that? Sherlyn, you've worked with Google Home stuff. Can you explain what these ghost devices even are?
So I haven't encountered this at all. I believe what you're describing is a situation where your home app or speaker is randomly detecting smart lights or smart speakers around you that aren't actually there, or it's just creating empty profiles for devices that aren't there. It's either it's detecting stuff that your neighbors have and they're too close, or it's glitching out. I haven't encountered this. I haven't even heard of it as an issue just yet, but also am not surprised because just Google's smart home devices still need a lot of work. They drop in and out of my Wi-Fi like crazy, and then when I ask them about it, they're like, "Oh, they try to troubleshoot it. To their credit, they have tried, but the answer that I was ultimately given is that, oh, there's something wrong with your router." And I'm just like, they're like, "Can we, can we send you a router to use?" I'm just like, "No, why do why do I want to replace my router to use yours just to use all your devices?" My Alexa, crap. My Echo has no problem. My other devices have no problem connecting and staying connected. So I think Google has a lot of issues with some of his devices. Some of it, it's hard to say. It's like whether it's the Bluetooth protocol, whether it's Wi-Fi just being sucky, whether I just have too many devices in my home. But Google has some work to do. I suggest you reach out to Google for support on that one.
Okay, and other than that, I think we're...
Dearham, Maine, I don't know if you're still here. Top 10 organs to sell to afford the Google Pixel 6, please.
I mean,
think that's
like
black market and illegal, so I'm not gonna say anything.
But definitely kidneys.
Yeah, you have two kidneys.
Yeah. Start with the kidneys.
Like your liver does regenerate, but they do have to crack your chest in order to get to the liver. So you can't just sell a regenerating lobe of liver in order to purchase anything. It's a big surgery.
Yeah. Skin is also an organ, so
True, but it never quite grows. Yeah, it never quite grows back the same way. So
kidneys. It's the obvious answer.
Yeah, kidneys is the number one, and then if you're a woman and you don't mind, contributing your eggs, those go for a lot apparently.
Oh yeah, no, the easiest organ to actually sell is eggs.
Well, that's not an organ though. But you can sell your eggs.
Okay,
but you can sell your eggs.
The easiest piece of one's body to sell is an egg.
I don't know about easy, just because I know the process is also difficult, like harvesting eggs and whatever. I will just say that that's more disposable because you do produce more of them than kidneys. Like there's just more of that.
It's true. You could get out of student debt real easily with a couple of egg sales.
I saw a couple questions about Pixel Watch. I will say I didn't see any watches at Google's meeting, so there you go. Nothing, no word on that yet. But where we will see a watch next week at Samsung. Hey, Bijan Shaji said, waiting for Samsung. Very good. This next week, come back, y'all. We've got a lot of new names today, so we're gonna say hi. I think we're gonna start wrapping up, unless anyone has this is your final minute to ask any burning questions while we're here.
Yeah, I think we're about done.
Yeah, but I'm going to shout out to the people who are our regulars. Again, D-Man, Dhruv Karmokar, Jonathan Anderson, Will So, congratulations again. Jedi Mind Trick on you. Mark Dell was here in and out today. We love Mark Dell. Chris Velasco, not a regular, not basically a stranger, says, I am sorry. So there you go.
As you should be.
But also hello to the new names that we welcome to the community today. Tokyo Paul 360. Sir Dirty's not totally new, but newish. ACBC, a name that I have seen before. Welcome back. Jason Parker.
Tech
Gabriel. Gabriel's a regular. Sorry. Go ahead.
Tech Pimp. Kingdom.
Oh yeah, Tech Pimp. Tech Pimp. Yes, hi.
Carson Brown just signed in here. Who else? Oh, I think Bijan Saji.
Yes, we got Mike Jones Jr., whose question you asked.
Oh,
Raul Mangari. So many of you. So happy to see all of you. Edgar Fergoso. We're just shouting out your names now just to say we see you. We're glad you joined us. And come back for more next week on Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, or, for Samsung's Unpacked, Sir Taco Bell. Hi. Yeah, we also miss I Can Poop Twice a Day. Yay. We wish they would come back. So anyhow, I think that's it. Thanks for joining us. Come back.
Okay, yes. And so this stream comes to you via our video stream, which is led by Kyle Mock with Julio Barrientos and Luke Brooks. It's powered by everyone in the chat. Seriously, we just spent a bunch of time talking to the chat. The chat's what makes it fun. Got a bunch of good questions about the Pixel 6 today. So if you've stuck around this long, rate the show on iTunes. Come on, just you know that we live in a world of algorithms. You guys, more than anyone, if you're sticking around this long. So rate the show on iTunes. It's nice to see good comments. People usually only rate when they're annoyed about something. And so, yeah, leave us some good comments, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.